Hello, welcome back to KB Ants. This is my Myrmica Rubra care video, which has been made by KB Ants in association with theantlady.co.uk. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more ant care videos and updates on my colonies. You can also find me on Facebook at KB Ants. Myrmica Rubra are often referred to as European fire ants, and they can be found in places like the British Isles all the way to eastern parts of Siberia in Southeast Asia. This species is identified by its orangey reddy brown colourings, which workers have a slightly darker head and gaster. In general, the queens have the same pattern of colouring, but they are darker than the workers. Myrmica Rubra like to be in an environment of 21 to 24 degrees Celsius. Depending on where you plan to keep your ants, you may need to use a heat mat under the part of the nest area to maintain this, as they are quite a sensitive species. On that note, these ants need a controlled level of fairly high humidity of 50 to 70% at all times. Closely monitoring this is recommended, as each colony setup can be different depending on nest types. Standard room lighting is also fine for these ants. This species are best housed in white ant nests or a dirt setup, as the dirt helps to maintain the humidity levels. This species will continue to reproduce through the queens and also the micro queens, another type of queen that live in a colony, as they both produce fertile offspring. The difference between the queens and the micro queens is the size. Queen ants within this species grow from 5mm to 7.5mm in length. A queen that is on the lower end of these measurements can look similar to workers, but her thorax and gaster will be much larger. The micro rubras, or smaller queens, are often the same size as the workers and ants, and are around 4 to 6mm in length. Often the small queens and workers can be confused for one another due to their size, but to identify which is which, the micro queens will have slightly darker pigmentation than the workers. The development time for egg to worker is 34 days. Myrmica Rubra are polygynous species that have multiple fertile queens in a colony, meaning that the reproduction rate is quite high. If a queen dies, the colony will continue to thrive as long as another queen or multiple queens are remaining. Myrmica Rubra need lots of protein, such as fruit flies, mealworms, crickets, dubia roaches. They also like sweeter food sources such as apples, pears, sugar water, honey water. If you do feed them fruit, remember to make sure that it's well washed so there's no pesticides or anything remaining on the fruit. These European fire ants are well known for having a sting, which they can sting humans, but it's just compared to as like a nettle sting, so it's nothing too major, but you just got to keep it in mind, so it's probably not ideal for the younger ant keeper. Myrmica Rubra are one of the species that hibernate in the wild. Their hibernation period is generally between October and March. It's best to try to recreate this when keeping this species. You can do this by making sure they have some food in the nest, keeping the nest between 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. You should notice that the ants remain to be close together and very inactive. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again next time.